All Because You Matter. Written by Tami Charles, illustrated by Caldecott Honor winner Bryan Collier. How are you today, my friends? How are you today? I hope that you're okay, my friends. Oh, deep in my heart, I want to say, hope that you're okay today. Hi, it's wonderful to see you again. And today I want to read to you a very important book. And you could see just from the cover how amazingly beautiful are the illustrations. Thank you so much, Bryan Collier, for these illustrations. I'm going to take the slipcover off because our main character, I believe we would say in this story, the protagonist, the main character, when we open the slipcover, we see this really amazing portrait of that character on the front. I'm going to put this up and let you see that. Love these lines that the illustrator has used. There's such strength in this character's eyes, and you can see the light shining off of the character's head using shadows. Such a beautiful illustration, yeah? And then the back is a bit of a collage, right? We've talked about collage where you might cut pieces and have pieces that you painted and other pieces that you've painted and piece them together in an interesting way. Okay. So we're going to read this book today, and we're really going to hook into also, so there's this other wonderful thing that the illustrator does, which is almost doing a collage that feels like a quilt with almost, it feels like pieces of fabric that have been woven together. Can you tell that Mr. Greg really loves these illustrations? Okay, let's get into the book. Shall we? Let's. Because the splash page is marvelous as well. Move that splash page right across for you. There's such an interesting new thing painted right here. I'm not sure what that is, but it draws my eyes in and it makes me want to look at it more. All Because You Matter. I wonder if this is the same character as this. So you can see everything. By the way, I also want to point out as I read, I'm so sorry. Thank you for hanging in there with me. That the story written by Tami Charles really feels like the most beautiful poem. I don't know if you remember when we read Owl Moon. Do you remember the book Owl Moon? I think I have it in here so I can show you the cover. Yeah, here it is, Owl Moon. Remember, this is a beautiful story written by Jane Yolen that read like a poem. And Tami Charles has given us a poem here as well. So I'll read it as such, and we'll really enjoy the beautiful illustrations by Mr. Bryan Collier. Here we go. They say that matter is all things that make up the universe. Energy, stars, space. If that's the case, then you, dear child, matter. I believe Mom is pregnant here. Long before you took your place in this world, you were dreamed of, like a knapsack full of wishes, carried on the backs of your ancestors as they created empires, pyramids, legacies. So many sets of hands helping to create perhaps the crib for the baby. Wow. Building, inventing, working beneath red-hot suns and cold blue moons, thinking of you years ahead, because to them, you always mattered. These are bits of many, many people for many, many generations backwards in what will be the life of this child. On the night you were born, stars sprayed across the sky, each one full of light, hope, love, and all the moments in your life that would matter. That's the shooting star. Do you remember? I had no idea what we were looking at here. It's a beautiful shooting star. Like your first steps, bare feet planted on cold floor, hobbling, wobbling, toppling, only to stand and try again. Or your first words, spoken almost like a lullaby, notes climbing a ladder to the sky. Mama? Papa? Mahal kita. Or the first time you opened a book, like a mirror staring back at you, and really saw yourself. Same hair, same skin, same dreams. We can see those pieces from what was being constructed by all of his ancestors coming out of the book. Even Mom looks very proud, very happy. Oh, it's like they're on a rocket ship, huh? Do you see that? I'll hold that as I read so you can see it. The words and pictures coming together like sweet jam on toast. Música blasting through barrios. Sun in blue sky, all because you matter. But in galaxies far away, it may seem that light does not always reach lonely planets, covered moons, stars unseen, as if matter no longer exists. And just like moons hidden in the dark, there will be times when you too will question your place in the universe. Like the time you'll hear the teacher call your name, Hosam Uzomaka Yordenis. And the whispers and giggles begin, followed by, what kind of name is that? Or the time you'll see a letter, big, bold, red on the page, and you will question if you and your work and your effort matter. Or the time when your pop turns on the news and you see people everywhere take a breath, take a stand, take a knee. And you hear Pop's whispered prayers as another name is called, Trayvon, Tamir, Philandro, and you wonder if they or you will ever matter. So much emotion in his face. But did you know that you do? Did you know that you were born from queens, chiefs, legends? Did you know that you are the earth? That strength, power, and beauty lie within you? Did you know that? Did you know that you are sun rays, calm like ocean waves, tough like montañas, magic like stars in space? And on the day the universe was created, you were thought of, dreamed of, carried like a knapsack full of wishes as planets, stars, moons took their places, making room for you, your people, their dreams, your future. All because, since the beginning of time, you mattered. They mattered. We matter and always will. Isn't that such an amazing and beautiful book? I'm going to turn the page, and I would like to share with you both the author's note and the illustrator's note, because there's so much that Mr. Greg could say to you right now, but there's nothing that I could say to you that the people who brought us this beautiful piece of art have told us. So if we can start with Tami Charles, the author's note. On the day my son Christopher Sebastian was born, he became the center of my universe. Sun-kissed skin, dreamy brown eyes, and a gentle coo that could turn me into a human puddle. Ever since his birth, it has been my greatest wish to hold him in the space of first steps, first words, first books. But time waits for no one. As Christopher grew, so grew my own fears as a mother. I wanted to keep my little boy shielded from the cruelties of the world, but whenever I would turn on the news, I would see the same storyline repeated as countless young black men and women were taken away too soon. In my son's early years, it was easy to avoid discussing the injustices against people of color, but soon the questions came. Why did they assassinate Dr. King? Why won't you let me play with my Nerf guns outside? Time was up. I knew I needed to have the big talk with my son. The one where I tell him that while there are many nice people in the world, not everyone is. And that sometimes people will treat others unfairly because of their skin color, race, or religion. I wrote All Because You Matter to provide parents with a starting point for conversations about the racial climate in our country today. These are issues that should be discussed in all families, of all backgrounds, if we are to raise empathetic future leaders. I also wrote this book to remind all children, especially those from marginalized backgrounds, that no matter where they come from, they matter. That the people who came before them and the work that they did to secure the life we have today matter. Because of this, our children must continue the work and carry themselves with pride, even when they experience moments in which they are made to feel unimportant. I will not raise Christopher to walk in fear. And while I don't have the answers for how we can fix racial injustice, I can begin with this book, a loving tribute to the greatness that lives within my beautiful brown-hued, brown-eyed boy, and within all children of all colors everywhere. You matter. You matter. And Bryan Collier gives us an illustrator's note, and then I will show you the back slipcover is a little bit different. The back, not slipcover, splash page is a bit different than the front. Illustrator's note. This project is a wonderful journey of promise and empowerment for our children, one that zooms through time and space. We start with a young couple anticipating the birth of a child, and we see them raise, love, and carefully guide that child through life with reassurance and a powerful sense of significance. It explores the duty we have as parents, caregivers, and world citizens to bestow love and value on our children and loved ones. I was partly raised by my grandmother, who was a quilt maker. When you see my art, you can see her influence as I join collage and petal shapes together to make a whole idea or image. To visually tell this story, I started with the shape of a single flower petal to build an image, and then to make a blossoming effect in all the backgrounds. I thought that was beautiful, didn't you? Like the night sky, interior wallpaper, and the child's storybook, all are fashioned after a flower petal. Faces appear on those petals, representing the voices of ancestors chanting, "You matter." As our main character is faced with navigating today's challenges of identity, self-worth, survival, and the ability to thrive, he is surrounded by a community and family. And so we see the final illustration given to us by Mr. Collier. We can see all ringing the book are those petals about which he spoke. And also, if we come back to the final splash page, we no longer have a shooting star, but rather now we have a moon, and it's a crescent moon. Waning or waxing, I cannot remember. But everything is constructed, even the stars, upon these petals, which inhabit the entire universe of the story. See, petals, petals. Let's see if there are some on this page. And here's a page where we don't get as many petals, huh? However, if you come over to the writing, the beautiful poem, the collage is on top of this beautiful wallpaper that incorporates petals. So even on the pages where there are fewer petals, we still see them. And of course, there are other pages that have many, many petals. I really appreciate you being with me today. I want you to know that you do matter. And I love you very much. And I look forward to hanging out with you again tomorrow.